Namaste everyone. Well, today we'll be discussing about two calendar systems. One is known as Samvatsaraha and the other one is Georgian calendar. We will focus on the gross difference between these two, and I would like to put forth the major difference between these two, which is a surprise element. According to Samvatsaraha, we are in the year 2078, whereas when we talk about the Georgian calendar, it indicates that the year is 2021. So there is a difference of 57 years, which can be understood if you understand the time period or the origin of these two calendar systems. One was initiated by the king Vikramaditya, if you look at from the gross perspective, which started in the year 57 BCE. Whereas when we talk about the Georgian calendar, it is related with the birth of the Jesus Christ. So if you want to understand the difference between these two, you should know the mechanism behind intercalation, which is related with the star Vega, also known as Abhijit, which I have pointed in my videos before. You should understand the two constellation or the nakshatra system to have a deeper insight about this, as well as you should have an idea about the concept of Panchangam, the 5 limbs of Hindu calendar system, which gives you a subtle insight about the difference between these two. And Samvatsara itself is a broader concept which is related with the 12-year, which is related with this Jupiter cycle. It is, it is related with the numeric 12, which we have discussed earlier. So we can relate it that ways too, which we would be talking towards the end. Now, the other major differences, if you relate, it is the Samvatsara, when we talk about it, it is related with the luni-solar cycle. Whereas when we talk about the Georgian calendar, it is purely solar. So it is a fixed cycle of 365 days approximately, which is related with the Earth revolution towards the Sun. And that's what makes it to fall on the same day, 1st of January every year. Moreover, if you look at the other perspective, it commences on the midnight. Whereas when we talk about the Samvatsara, it starts on the first sun rays which falls on the earth. And it is related with the lunisolar, as I mentioned. So it starts with the Chaitra Masa. The Chaitra is the name of the month, first month of Hindu calendar, Indian calendar. And it starts on the first day of waxing of moon. Right? So that's the gross difference. Moreover, there is an interesting story which we can relate with the commencement of this trend of April Fool, which has been imposed by the Western culture over the people who marks the beginning of New Year through the luni-solar calendar. Actually, Georgian calendar became it was known to people quite profoundly during the Middle Ages. It's around 16th century. Say, to be precise, it was 1582 when the Romans have started following the Georgian calendar, and as that point in time, West culture has the dominance over the other parts of the world, so it has made it more known among the people. So Indians were also there believing. They had the belief. They were following the Samvatsara calendar system, but their belief system was profound. But gradually, as the dominance become more prominent, people started following the Western calendar system. Though during after the independence, the Science Council proposed that the Indians should be adhering to the Samvatsara, the Indian calendar system, but it was overlooked by the Indian government. And as I mentioned, that phase of April Fool, the story behind this become more profound in those time, and it is still there, but its dominance has been reduced to great extent as people have started understanding that the Vedic calendar system or the Hindu calendar system is the most ancient calendar system, and rightly so, because if we look at from the subtle perspective, it is related with the creation. It is mentioned in the ancient literature, Brahma Purana, that the Kalagarna, the counting of time, begins with this Chaitra Masa. So, and that is the substratum for the Arya Samaj, which is the monotheistic belief of Hindus, which has a profound belief in the Vedas, the ancient literature. So, I believe I have made the points very clear, and it's about the ancient literature, which is well accepted by the world because it works as a substratum for modern science. So, to be precise, we can say that we can adhere to the statement Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the humanity is one race, because we have rightly discussed it before in one of my previous audio that spirit is made up of 0 point energy field, which is all pervading irrespective to the geographical boundaries. So the source is one, and it's a monotheistic belief, the Arya Samaj. It believes in one God, and that's what it indicates. The same energy is all pervading. That's what 0 point energy field is. And now, if we look at from a yet subtle perspective, we can relate it with the numeric system. It's I have pointed out before this that the concept of centrality is missing in the modern science, and that is supposed to be related with the calendar system, which we are relating with Samvatsaraha. So when we talk about the Vedic or post-Vedic era, that goes back to around 3000 BC or 2000 BCE. That was a time where there was no, the writing was not there. The learning was done through Shruti, only listening was a means of learning. And that is the era of Vedic or post-Vedic, right? And so even the numerals which we see that were in the form of symbols. So from there, the numeric system was developed as Hindu. Then it went to Middle East, China, and Europe, so on and so forth. So having said that, to understand the profound ability of the ancient calendar, we need to have the understanding of Panchangam. Panchang means 5 limbs on which the ancient calendar system is based. I won't be discussing it over here. People who have a deeper understanding about the concept of astrology, which encompasses astronomy, science of light, mathematics, they can relate it with the concept of Panchangam. It makes the subject so profound, though we need to have an understanding of Sankhya, 25 elements of Sankhya philosophy, as well as of Shaivism, 36 elements of Shaivism. So this would make us go deeper into the concept of transcendence. And when we talk about the concept of the term Samvatsara, it has a deeper meaning. It is related with the 60-year cycle of Jupiter. This is considered as half a yuga. So one yuga is 120 years actually. So which we can relate with the cycle of epoch, which has been mentioned. And it goes back to again the numeric 12, which we have discussed, right? Which we can relate with the Gayatri mantra, the meaning of Gayatri mantra, because from that Gayatri mantra is the essence through which we understand the concept of astrology, the concept of lokas given in the shastras, and it's description of the 3 words and the realm beyond that. So that we can relate with the concept of Panchanga eventually, what a profound astrologer, or I would say the knower of Jyotish, would be able to understand through the Gayatri mantra. So this is my analysis on the ancient calendar system. And if you have any insight on the Samvatsara, do put forth your views, and we can take it forward. Namaste. Have a wonderful day ahead.